Hello and welcome, everyone. It is the Fourth and One podcast. We are so happy to be back. I'm so glad to be joined by CFB3 Robert. We are back. I am your host, Captain Bourne. We will be joined by Admiral You Like That, aka Fancy Trash Can, aka Patty Mahomes of IT. He was supposed to be on already. We are 10 minutes late starting this, but nothing is new. He can never be on time. Follow us on Instagram, Fourth and One Podcast. All the words are spelled out. Follow us on YouTube. If you're watching us here on YouTube, go check out the other content we have. If you're listening, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever, head on over to our YouTube channel, Fourth and One Podcast. Spell all the words out, and you'll find us with ease. Robert, how you doing, my man?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, my man.
All righty. Well, we're all in a little better moods compared to last week. Yeah, last week it was a little tense.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a better week.
Yeah. So far we are off to a much better start. By the time people hear this, happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy birthday, America. Sorry your party's so lame. This is what, the 248th birthday of America coming up.
But who's counting?
Yeah, looking good as ever. Maybe, depending on if you watch the debate. All right, we're not going to get into that at all. We are a mostly college football podcast. Simeon just put in the notes here. Wow, he put a lot of notes. So Simeon's going to want to talk soccer whenever he comes on. I told him I would give him 5 minutes. I'm literally going to set a timer for him, and I'm going to give him 5 minutes and let him be. For those of you that don't know, the U.S. men's national team, it's the Copa America, which is the tournament of North and South and Central America, right? Yeah, something like that. The Euros are going on right now, so it's all the European nations, getting together for supremacy or whatever. And that happened. Group stage ended last night, and the U.S. men's national team didn't even make it out of the group stage. And everyone, if you care about soccer, is very angry about that for obvious reasons. And so I'll let Simeon do that. He just moved it to 5:30 go time, so he'll be very surprised when he gets on and we're already talking. Robert, some very old news, but that I wanted to cover that we didn't get into while we were waiting for him. Big 12 is highly considering selling its naming rights. So will probably no longer be called the Big 12. Well, actually, they would just get rid of the big and they would sell it to the highest bidder. If, for example, the Verizon 12 conference, the AT&T 12 conference. Yeah, this is just a product of what?
Greed. That would probably be the best answer for it, but I guess it's just a product of changing of the times. We're paying kids, we're changing everything. There's always kind of been some sort of advertisement of different companies, especially the bowl games. You have your insert insurance company / accounting / IT department
right. Yeah.
So I guess it's just kind of a matter of time. I mean, the Big 12, like the championship game's always been the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. So it's kind of already been there. They just haven't officially sold it, which I don't understand how they can sell it as it is. You're just essentially buying the opportunity to sponsor it, I guess.
Right. It's basically how I equivalent is to when sports teams sell the naming rights to stadiums. Like when Jerry World sold the naming rights to Jerry World, AT&T bought it, so it's AT&T Stadium technically. I kind of equivalent to the same thing. You also made a point when this happened maybe 6 weeks ago now, so this is very old news, but we were talking and you said this is all because of NIL, not only because the kids are getting paid, but now these schools can pay these kids, therefore have to pay these kids if they want to be relevant with the Bamas, the Georgias, the Ohio States, all the top teams. So this is just an extra revenue stream.
Yeah, I mean, and it kind of makes sense too. You have these colleges essentially are shoveling out money. The boosters are shoveling out money to pay the kids to come there, and you're essentially not seeing as big of a return for the college. Like for the NCAA, they still get their share, no matter what. They will get their share until they are dissolved. And how big of a share? That's kind of a $1 million question. But these colleges kind of have to go, well, if the kids are going to get money, then we're getting our share too, and we're going to figure out how we're going to do it. So I'll be interested to see if the ACC, if they would follow suit.
Yeah.
Would SMU get some of that, since they don't get any of the technical revenue share as it is?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That'll be a very interesting question. I like the SEC, right? ESPN has that kind of sold out and parted out. And so the SEC gets top dollar from ESPN and all that's good. Big Ten has Big Ten Network and Fox. And so those are the two biggest brands in college football. The Big 12 plays some games on ESPN Plus, but the Big 12 doesn't have its own network. The Big 12's own network is on ESPN Plus. So this is, I think, just a way to kind of compensate for that, because they don't really get any.
Now, what if they would sell their right to like Amazon or Apple?
Well, this has nothing to do with TV, like with streaming rights, right?
But that could set up for like, okay, we're already the Apple, the Big 12 Apple, the Apple Big 12,
right?
Whatever
the Apple
monstrosity
12,
you want to make it,
right?
You'd already named it, so you would essentially, Apple could lock out ESPN, any of them, and be like, well, why don't you just do your games on Apple Plus?
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a hot mess express, I think, in the coming. I mean, legal battles are just going to abound from this. I to be the old man in me hates this. Like, college football is about tradition, and I hate all this. I'm not as bad as that dude. Brendan Walker. He's on Barstool?
Yeah, the Ohio State fan who is insane.
Right. Yeah, dude. I'm not as bad. Brendan Walker is like, give me the Big East again. Give me the Pac-10, Big 12, SEC, put Texas A&M back in the Big 12, put Nebraska back. Like, I'm not that, but like, I still think we need. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool, but
like the Big 8 and the start going crazy.
I'm not like that, but college football is about traditions, and we're just slowly ticking it away. I guess another way, Mr. Brightside way of looking at this is, we're starting new traditions, right? Alrighty. Some sneaky news that may have come in. Yeah, there are two of them. See, this is the one
I was like, ooh, is that a new one?
Yeah, that's the one I was using.
Okay.
And that's the new one.
New traditions.
Yeah, new. See, I didn't even try that. Some under-the-radar college football news also happened this afternoon. Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator at the University of Utah, go full Utah, has been named the successor. Number one, did you see this news? I assume so.
No, that one I didn't know.
Okay, so Morgan Scalley, Hey, Robert, the defensive coordinator at Utah has been named the successor to Kyle Whittingham. However, and it should be noted, there is no timetable for Kyle Whittingham's retirement. My big thing is Jimbo was named the successor at Florida State no more than, it was no more than 3 years in advance, and then he kind of pushed Bobby Bowden out at the end. Yeah. He kind of held Florida State hostage and said, "I'm ready to coach my own program. I'm leaving, or you're kicking Bobby Bowden out." So but Kyle Whittingham's at the top of his game. How much longer do you think Kyle Whittingham's going to be coaching?
It's kind of the $1 million question, yeah. Because how long have we been sitting there going, man, how long is Saban going to stick around? And then just, you lose to Michigan one time and, oh, I got to retire,
Right, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that kind of creates a very odd dynamic there because now, in a way, you have a head coach trying to coach and you have, he's a defensive coordinator, right?
He is, yes.
So you have a defensive coordinator who's also trying to coach, but sitting back and going, well, if I was the coach, this is what I would do. So you're essentially almost having two head coaches, and one of them who was definitely established and very good, and one who we don't know anything of.
So Scalley's been, who was
Connor.
a star player at Utah, entering his 17th season on the Utah staff. The contract includes, so this is a contract extension he just signed. So this is part of that contract extension. Contract includes salary for Scalley of at least $5 million per year if he's elevated at the end of the 2024 season per the contract. That number increases by $100,000 each subsequent year, topping out at $5.4 million after January 16, 2028. This there's no definitive timetable for Whittingham to step down. Whittingham turns 65 in November. Wow, he looks good for 65. He's entering his 20th season as a head coach, all-time winningest head coach at 162 and 79, best mark in school history. So it's probably coming sooner than we think. I didn't think he was 65.
Especially if they're saying that, because now it becomes a money thing. If Whittingham isn't gone by the end of the year and he doesn't retire, so Scallions, he's losing $100,000.
That number of at least there's contract institutes a starting salary of $5 million. Well, no, each time it increases. So each year he's not, it goes up by 100,000. I think.
Well, maybe it ends up being the college saying, "Hey, we can't afford you anymore."
Right.
Get out.
Yeah, that's a very interesting dynamic. Robert, why Simeon's, by the way, everyone welcome. Patty Mahomes of IT, a.k.a. Fancy Trashcan, a.k.a. Admiral You Like That, has joined the podcast. Welcome, brother.
Hello. When did we start?
We started 13 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
I gave you 10 minutes. I gave you 10 minutes past 5:15, and then
you could have texted me. I was.
It's all right.
Slow playing it.
It's all right. We were talking about stuff. Here's the deal. You wanted 5 minutes to talk about the disappointing loss of the United States men's national team.
Of coming off the top.
No. You have the energy.
Yeah. You dig deep.
I will put you in that energy because, pardon my language, but it is bullshit that we do not make it out of the group stage. Like, okay, America, what's going on here? We have the 20-year-olds and under can't win a football game against Japan or Austria.
Or Germany.
Come on now. Yeah. Like, what is that all about? And then we go 2 games in a row where we decide we're going to punch some schmuck in the back of the head from Panama and we're going to go and just lose to Uruguay? Uruguay? I don't know if anyone heard that, but Uruguay?
Uruguay's the 15-time Copa America champion.
Yeah. Well, guess how many times they won the World Cup?
Like twice, I'm pretty sure.
Twice. Yeah. How long's that been around? Exactly. We're the freaking US of A. We're supposed to be the top shit. Minus Europe.
Uruguay. Here we go.
Guys,
Soccer.
I have nothing to say besides that. I have nothing to say to this besides the fact that the Team USA they weren't playing with effort last night. I mean, the amount of balls that were just kicked into the middle of nowhere, and Christian Pulisic was the closest one to it. But yet,
it was twice.
But yet, Uruguay, Europe, we're better than everyone in the United States of America. Would just run and just get it. So, Simeon, I will give you 5 minutes. I have to look up some stuff that we were talking about Jimbo Fisher, and your time begins now.
I was thinking about this rant last night, and one of the things that I compared at least Greg Burkhalter to this morning, and I read Reddit this morning, which was dangerous. But Greg Burkhalter is the Ryan Day of soccer coaching. If he's not fired, we said in the group chat, yes, it's some of the players' fault, and I get it. It is. These kids, and I do say it, the Christian Pulisic has 70 caps for Team USA. Old man Tim Ream has only like 63. So the people who are my age, I guess I'm calling myself kids, and younger, these are dudes who've been around and who've been given everything, right? Pulisic went to Germany at 16, gets signed by Chelsea, gets re-signed by AC Milan when he can't get enough playing time at Chelsea. And what we saw from Greg Burkhalter the past 3 or 4 years is we saw them develop and then stop, and he is waiting for their talent to pay off for Team USA. He is 1-5-5 against top 15 ranked FIFA teams. That one win is against the Mexico team, who's more of a dumpster fire than we are. We've fallen flat on our faces. We saw way more heart in the CONCACAF Nations League Championship, where we won last year after beating with our second place team. Well, maybe we lost to Canada. I don't remember, but it was our second place team. We are so blessed to be able to have a second place team. I went back and looked at our results in the World Cup. Somehow we've been ranked 14th, 15th, 16th, wherever in the world. And we took the year we missed the World Cup because of Trinidad and Tobago, which I'm going to come back to in a second. Our team, half of the players are out of the leagues. They're not playing anymore. And this loss to Uruguay is hands down more embarrassing. This loss in Copa America. Blame the refs all you want. Blame the camera angles. This loss to Uruguay is way more embarrassing than the Trinidad and Tobago team. This team is not going to do anything in 2026 is when we need to do something. If not, U.S. Soccer Federation needs to give it up and give their money, I don't know, to the U.S. men's football team because apparently they need it. And I think that's the rant that you're going to get from me because that's all we deserve. Fire the coach, hire someone who actually matters, maybe Thomas Tuchel, hire someone who will light a fire into these kids' ass, or don't play them, or these people's asses. Sorry, guys, men's asses. They're all over 18. Especially if we end up seeing the U23 team do good in Paris this Olympics, which I think we can. Fire coach, light a fire, and if not, give it up. Let the women have all the money.
Simeon, excellent job. 3 minutes, 25 seconds. I have a follow-up question, and this is for my personal thing. Was it true, like 9 of the 11 starters play in Europe currently, something like that?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's higher than that.
Okay, so higher than that. So arguably, this is the most talented U.S. men's national team ever.
I mean, here's the thing. I was doing some digging today. There's a lot of U.S. guys that are now in Europe, and that's the reason that a lot of these people are on these teams. But yeah, I'm confirming your number for you.
Okay, so just I completely agree. I mean, yeah, I equivalated it to that's not a word. Wow, did everyone hear that? Equivalated? All
11 starters last night played in Europe.
Okay, there you go. I found it very similar to when players give up on a college football coach and the effort's just not there. And that's, again, what I saw last night. I'm not a soccer savant. Okay, so the refs was bad, I guess. I don't know. I'm just going based off of what everyone else said. The goal that it wouldn't have mattered because Panama won 2-1 from what I understand, but the goal that Uruguay got, he looked offsides of all the angles, and from what I understand, offsides should be as the current rule is constructed. So, yeah.
I saw that screenshot. I don't know what they're talking about. The guy who touched the ball first was onside. There are 2 other players who are offside.
No, so when he headed it into the box, the original one that Turner saved, when he headed it, the guy who then got the rebounded was offside.
Got it. Okay,
there was actually 2 players.
You'll have to forgive me. I had turned off the game in frustration by then.
No,
basically.
I mean, I just stayed up until again. It wouldn't 0-0 draw wouldn't have mattered because Panama won 2-1.
They had to win, and I think they had to match. So they would have
either
had to
win or they had to
2.
match.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was. We shouldn't be losing to a Panama. We shouldn't be crashing out of the Copa. We shouldn't be comparing ourselves to Italy in the Eastern Hemisphere. All right, I'm sorry, I'm done. Western Hemisphere.
All right.
My name's Jeff.
Yeah. By the way, Robert,
yes.
and everyone else, Jimbo Fisher was named the successor at the end of the 2007 season. He then took over at the beginning of the 2010 season. So it was 3 years. So that's kind of the timetable for Morgan Scally and Kyle Winningham, which I think will be very interesting. Okay, but we are finishing up our previewing of the college football season with some group of 5 / independents. No, I'm doing Notre Dame and Memphis. Robert's doing
Whoa. Hold up. Why do you get to pick Notre Dame? It was
Because
Notre
I
Dame
said
for the
it
group, and then you 2 other people. And then you had to pick 2 other people.
No, I said I'll do Notre Dame. You guys pick 2 teams each.
It was my idea for this. Thank you very much.
Well,
I'm just here to have fun.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Okay, well, we're doing Notre Dame.
Okay.
Robert's going to do App State and Kennesaw State. Simeon apparently is only going to do 1 team,
No, I said
that would
Charlotte and... Did I only say
UTSA?
one?
You only said UTSA.
No, hold on. Sorry,
I
guys.
think you said you were going to do, I'll do UTSA and some other team.
All right, and I'm going to do Notre Dame and Memphis. So while Simeon still brings up whatever he needs to bring up, Robert, why don't you start
Liberty and Charlotte. I changed mine.
Okay. All right.
That's right, you did. Yeah, it's true.
Let me get my flops. Robert, why don't you start and go ahead?
All right. Well, I'm going to start with Kennesaw State. The new dogs in Division I football. Yeah, they're kind of a wild card. They are going to be a very interesting team. You're kind of young. A lot of people are predicting they're only going to win 3 games, which is definitely possible. Their schedule is kind of like what a bottom tier college schedule would be. They got to play at UTSA first, home against Louisiana, San Jose State, UT Martin, Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee, Liberty, Western Kentucky, UTEP, Sam Houston, FIU, and Louisiana Tech. So they very well could only have 3 wins, but I think they're going to end up like James Madison, and not exactly like James Madison, but they should have more wins than 3. I really just have that they're this wild card of a team because the expectations are super low, honestly.
Are they on that stupid
what they do
bowl ban?
last year? Yeah.
They have that.
2 years.
Last year.
I
Yeah,
was
2.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, last year it wasn't a good year last year. I think they only had like 3 wins last year.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you're expecting a team that only had 3 wins FCS to do what?
Well, they were an independent last year, though.
FCS.
Oh, so
or
they
FBS?
were FBS. They were FBS last year?
It has them as independent because they weren't part of the conference. But I don't know if that's independent. I'll look and see if it was independent as an FCS or independent as FBS. But I mean, they were 3 and 6, but
Kemba Walker retired.
Simeon out of left field.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
It's what I do. It's what I do, baby. I'm kind of upset that none of us, and including myself, I thought about it, wanted to pick James Madison. I'm really interested to see what they do this year. Right? New coach. I think a lot of their players graduated, though. So I'm interested to see kind of how they came in and what they're doing. Micaiah, while he's pulling that up,
Yeah.
you got Notre Dame ready?
Yeah, I got Notre Dame ready. I'm always ready.
Oh, speaking of James Madison.
So this is Kennesaw State's first year in FBS.
Yeah, they were independent as FCS last year.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I got it. Let me hit this transition. All right. So we're going from one of probably the worst teams in college football, at least on paper, to one of probably a hopefully top 12 team, and that's Notre Dame. Notre Dame went 10-3 last year, and they're returning 9 guys this year. 3 on offense, 5 on defense. Marcus Freeman enters his 3rd season. He's already 17-9 as the coach since Brian Kelly departed for LSU. The offense brings in Riley Leonard from Duke, who had a terrific season but missed like the last month to 6 weeks with an ankle injury. They also brought in Mike Denbrock from LSU to kind of uptick this offense a little bit, or at least that's what I thought. The offense was somehow, Robert, when I say Notre Dame's offense, what comes to mind from last year?
Tried to be run heavy, but was very inconsistent running the ball.
Okay. Would you mark it as high scoring, mid scoring, low scoring, explosive? What would you put a stamp on?
Probably lackluster.
Lackluster. Okay, that's what I'm remembering too, right? Notre Dame couldn't move the ball against Ohio State. Every time I turned on the TV and Notre Dame's in a big game, didn't do anything. Notre Dame was 7th in the nation in scoring 39.2 points a game. However, that was their schedule, which was just very easy except for the big-time games. They were 29th in total yards. Audric Estime departs for the NFL. Jeremiah Love, who had 400 yards, and Jadarian Price, who had 300 yards, are going to take over kind of that starting role. Mitchell Evans is also back at tight end. The trick with Mitchell Evans is, can he stay healthy? He only played about 6 games last year, had 400 yards in those games and a touchdown. The O-line is also replacing 3 starters, including top 10 pick Joe Alt of the San Diego Chargers. Defense is under year 2 under Al Golden. They were top 10 in basically every major statistical category, 8th in points per game, 3rd in passing, 5th in total yards. They've returned 2 All-Americans. Their schedule is brutal on the road. At Texas A&M, which if you believe College Football 25, that's the hardest place to play. Home against Northern Illinois. At Purdue. It's not October, so no fear of an upset there. Home against Miami of Ohio, Louisville, and Stanford. Then on the road against Georgia Tech, Navy. Then they host Florida State, Virginia, at Army. How they have to go to both academy schools, I don't know. And then finish the year out with USC. I'm looking at...
It was probably a carryover from when everyone was still independent.
Probably. I mean, I'm looking at 10-2 with this schedule, with losses to possibly A&M. They'll get, and then maybe FSU. That defense is going to be ridiculously good. It's just whether or not that through the air, if this offense can be explosive. Any notes or thoughts on Notre Dame from either of you?
No. I was mostly
no, because I assumed that you were getting all the information for Notre Dame. I just don't like Notre Dame. So
what's
I like Notre Dame about as much as Ohio State and Penn State. So
what's the over/under sort of situation? Did you get any of that, Micaiah?
Notre Dame. I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't. I'm looking up now.
I'd probably say 8.5.
My guess.
10.5 wins.
Wow.
I mean, like I said, the schedule is very... Oh, I'm sorry. The games against Georgia Tech and Navy are both neutral, and Army are all neutral site games. So they're not even on the road technically for those games. So I take that back. I think it's an easy. Wow. I mean, really, they're looking at their only losses being to A&M and USC. I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say over. As much as it pains me. Simeon.
Sorry, I'm looking at James Madison. I feel bad for him. So, right, they lost their coach. We're not previewing James Madison. 96% of JMU's offensive production last season is no longer with the program.
Wow.
That hurts.
That's gonna hurt.
That's a lot of damage right there. Okay, so I picked Charlotte, who's in the American with Army and Navy.
That one's
just
hurt.
because they're so interesting to me, right? Their coach is a multimillionaire through a family business. He's 64. He's old. He was a offensive analyst after being a head coach at a successful high school, Baltimore high school coach. It's just a weird team. And very interesting here, Athlon did not cover them. This is the funny thing. If you take 2020 out of the mix, 2017, this is like a brand new, I'm pretty sure they have a brand new, I think 2016, 2017 is when their football program started. 2017 was the last time Charlotte's offense struggled as much as it did last season. Third down, 24% of their chances last season. The reason I bring this up, one, to fill time. Two, it's just an interesting team. Charlotte's a pretty big market, right? Professionally, they're a pretty big market. We just don't. We see football at the top of the state and mostly basketball. We don't really see football at the bottom of the state. But North Carolina is kind of a football school. It's still in football state. It's still in the South. And so Charlotte's very interesting to me. They got a new quarterback coming in, including, hold on. Oh, and 2 new running backs. You'll have to forgive me. I read all of this and forgot all of it like a day ago. They have their leading receiver is back. So they have all the pieces that are put together. Defense should be fine. Jajavion Clowney's cousin goes here, so he'll take off the helmet of...
How do you always spit fun facts like that? How do you find out that Jadeveon Clowney's cousin attends Charlotte University?
Damon Clowney, cousin of Jadeveon, made 33 tackles and 2.5 sacks last season after coming in from Ole Miss.
What website is this?
Oh, this is collegefootballnews.com.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, these are the fun facts that Mom wants, right?
Yeah, that's fair. It looks like they're having to replace people at defense. But from my understanding, the way this team played, if I'm remembering correctly, and granted, this is my memory, they finished the season strong. They have a coach who cares. They have a coach who they have buy-in. They're not really a let me transfer to Charlotte sort of situation. But here they are. Let me give you their season. Makai, would you do me a favor, or Robert, look up the over-under for me, if there is such a thing?
By the way, Charlotte did not finish the season strong at all. They finished 3-9 on a 3-game losing streak.
No. Like, I'm remembering, like, those weren't blowouts, is more my point, right?
I see. I'll look it up.
They went 3-9 last year. They
were
railroaded last year. I'm saying with the way the American is set up this year, which I'll go over here in a second, and that's Liberty. They're kind of possibly poised for some levels of success. I'm expecting them to go 500 this year. James Madison, North Carolina, Indiana, and then they got the big dogs. Micaiah will go over later in Memphis and Tulane later in the latter half of the season. I'm expecting them to at least make 500, and I just wanted to kind of shout them out because it's an interesting, right? UTSA's gone. Frank Harris retired as he played 7 seasons of collegiate football. 13,000. This is the quarterback for UTSA last year. 13,000 total yards, leads the school in everything in the quarterback position, and said, I got injured too many times. See ya. I'm not playing football anymore. hung up the cleats. So as you get a call, what sounds like all I want from Christmas is you, I just wanted to spotlight Charlotte for just 2 seconds and be like, hey,
Hey, I'm not mad about it because Biff Poggi,
thank you.
former associate coach, is now the head coach there. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
He's a self-made billionaire who then said, you know what? I'm tired of making money. I'm going to go coach college football. Who had that? Robert, I'm looking for an over-under. Did you find one?
Not yet. No.
Yeah, it's not going to exist. I'm going to assume it's going to be like 4.5 games.
So it was 3.5 last year. Let's just assume it'll be somewhere around there again this year. So would you take the over or the under?
I'm taking the over. I think they're going to go like 5 and what would that be?
Okay.
5 and 7, 5 and 6 sort of situation.
Mom wants to know what's the name of their stadium?
That's a great question. I have no. Oh, they're in the Jerry Richardson Stadium,
Jerry Richardson
like
Stadium.
the former owner of the North Carolina Panthers, Jerry Richardson.
Oh, yikes!
I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out here in a second.
The name of Notre Dame Stadium is Notre Dame Stadium. Mom, it overlooks a painting on campus that is on the side of the
Hail Mary
church.
Jesus.
Nope, wrong.
Touchdown Jesus.
Touchdown Jesus. There it is. Touchdown Jesus. So just go look up Touchdown Jesus and
I found it.
Oh, you did?
found what? The over under?
Charlotte's, yes. 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm taking the over. I think they're a 5-win team.
Okay. All right.
It is the McCall Richards Field at Jerry Richardson Stadium.
Okay, so just that's hang on. Wait, I might be able to find. Oh, I can search it. Here it is.
Wow, that's pretty racist, but correct.
He wasn't the
Oh.
racist one. He was the one who hid sexual abuse and domestic violence.
All right. Well, I don't.
No,
have
he was
one that
racist. My bad. You're right.
All right. Well, I don't have. Either way, I don't have a soundbite that says.
Also-
wow, that's pretty hid sexual assault. and
Also,
violence.
also
That's
they
pretty Penn State of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I say to you, Charlotte's first season was in 1946, so they're not also. I got them and UTSA mixed up. That's on me. That's on
dear.
me,
All
guys.
right.
My bad.
Robert, this circles back to you. Now, this is a legitimate contender based when I was looking up Memphis. App State was a legitimate spot holder for the college football playoff, and I'm super excited to hear why and all about it, so go ahead.
Well, we're going to go ahead and everyone needs to buckle up because we're going to Boone, North Carolina.
Oh,
Okay.
middle of nowhere.
Probably the most beautiful stadium just because of the scenery. The biggest question for Appalachian State is, can you beat Troy? Because Troy has won the conference championship 2 years in a row.
It's a nice stadium.
However, it is absolutely beautiful. Can you imagine that in the fall?
Good name
Kids
too.
changing.
Kid Brewer Stadium.
Kid
Kid
Brewers.
Brewer Stadium.
Great name.
Kid Brewer, that is the most successful Appalachian State coach, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
There's some.
Fun fact.
It's called the
but-
Rock.
The Rock, I believe it, because it's
That's
just
his
a big
nickname.
rock in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Big things for App State, though. Two big people they picked up in the transfer portal: Garner Langlow, offensive tackle from Auburn. Who would have guessed they would come to Appalachian State? And a defensive tackle from North Carolina State by the name of Nicholas Campbell. They also have Joey Aguilar, who's their starting quarterback. He's returning, along with all 6 of his top pass catchers. So offensively, they should not really miss a beat. Defense is kind of a little different. They're kind of hit and miss in different spots. Schedule-wise, ETSU, who's that? Eastern Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then they were at Clemson, at East Carolina. No one likes to go.
That's a tough kind of
Yeah,
3 weeks there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
Yeah.
They get South Alabama. Then they got to go ahead and play Simeon's Liberty, Marshall, Louisiana, Georgia State, Old Dominion, Coastal, which is, again, at Coastal, so another tough game. Then the biggest game probably is November 23rd. They do get James Madison at home. It is senior day, and they like to call it Black Saturday.
For North Carolina, probably should change the name.
That's
Right,
pretty
right.
racist, but
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
And then they have to play at Georgia Southern. And then December 7th, they do have noted that the Sun Belt Championship is that day at 7:30. So
my gosh.
they already have it on that's where they will be.
And what do you have? What do you have them going? What's their over under? Whatever.
Over under is
Mhm.
7.5.
Okay.
I kind of find it hard to believe that they lose probably only 2 to 3. I mean, Clemson, that's a tough one. It's an 8, and of course it's at night.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
But
that's so tough.
but App State always gets teams in the beginning of the season. They did it to Michigan. They did it to Texas A&M and
Yep.
North Carolina. So
They're gonna. You know what? They're just gonna come walking in there.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
App State. If you are scheduling App State in the first 2 weeks of September, I'm just gonna. It's like kind of scheduling North Dakota State. Why? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, so here's the fun part, okay? Simeon's going to come in with the fun facts now. First of all, Kid Brewer, the reason it was renamed, he was born in 1908 in Winston-Salem, so probably pretty racist, but his 1937 football squad went unbeaten and unscored upon during the regular season, outscoring their opponents 206-0. So, fun fact numero uno. Fun fact numero dos. Their record all time is basically they have a 77% win record at home, which is insane and also explains a lot.
Why aren't they in the top 10? College Football 25. Looking at you, EA Sports.
That's valid.
it's in the game.
It is in the game. And they carried a 30-game home winning streak, the longest in Division I at the time, before losing to Georgia Southern in October 2007.
Well, the more
Here's
you know.
a fun fact for you too.
Okay.
I had one more.
Most
Sorry, go ahead.
of the tickets for their games go on sale July 8th. However, against Liberty, that game is now sold out.
Wow.
So that should
it'll
tell
probably-
everybody
I mean,
that's probably the biggest game.
the App State's the Sun Belt, right?
Yeah.
And Liberty is Conference USA, so it's a non-conference game, but that's a big time matchup because Liberty, again, for those of you who don't remember, made the New Year's Six last year, so they're in kind of the front runner
lost,
position,
right?
Oh yeah, they got dominated by Oregon.
That's right. It was Oregon, the most lopsided game. Sorry. This is the most Southern thing ever. The stadium was the backdrop for the second college football game ever televised on ESPN. The Mountaineers played the Western Carolina Catamounts for the Old Mountain Jug in 1079. Is that not the most Southern thing you've ever heard?
That was a great Southern accent, Simeon.
The Mountaineers and Elon also staged the first game on artificial turf in the Carolinas on October 3rd, 1970. So there's my last fun fact.
Dude, Mom will be filled to the brim with fun
While
facts.
talking about filling yourself with the brim, we're going down south to the Liberty Flames. Fill yourself with the Holy Spirit. Okay? We got a new coach.
Second season.
It is the second season? Okay. So the dude...
Williams Stadium.
Thank you. Williams Stadium, home of the fighting Jesus Christs. Liberty is the defending CUSA champions. They took on New Mexico or New Mexico State. You'll have to forgive me. I don't remember which one.
It doesn't matter.
They both were incumbents. I watched that game. It was good. Don't remember that game. They are returning. I wish it told me exactly how many returnings, but they're returning their starting quarterback and their starting running back. They kept them. Kadion Slater, who just was very good to watch, very entertaining to watch. You'll see him on Sundays. And Quentin Cooley. They helped put them to the CUSA championship as well as a 13-1 record. They had almost twice as many first downs on the ground as they did passing, 207 to 114. Another fun fact for you there in 2017. They do need to replace 1,000-yard receiver CJ Daniels, who is now at LSU. Hopefully, Coastal Carolina transfer Tyson Mobley will be one of the candidates. However, he only has 40. They have depth at defense, even though they lost a lot of people. So this is very, very high likelihood. They're
returning 12 starters, 6 on each side of the ball.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know where you found that because I was on Athlon Sports. They're ranked 30th right now, according to Athlon. They have them outside the top 25. I think that's fair. However, if you look at their schedule, it is about as soft as the cool side of the pillow. I don't know. Campbell, New Mexico State, UTEP,
You can do better.
Eastern Carolina. Yeah, I know. App State, FIU, Kennesaw State, Jayville State, MTSU, Massage, Huge Tits, Western Kentucky, and Sam Houston. So if they're not going almost undefeated this year, I would be surprising. Obviously, you have that App State game, which is already sold out on September 28th. We have the game against New Mexico State, which I believe, if I'm remembering, I am correct. That was the people that's a conference rematch up. And we have, of course, the Rich Rodriguez's, if he's still there, at Jacksonville State. That should be interesting. I'm also seeing things about Western Kentucky possibly coming to spoil the fun in Conference USA this year. So, I don't know.
The Hilltoppers.
Over-under is probably like 10.5, and I'm taking the over. I think they're going undefeated this season.
All right. Do we have to do everything for you? Some fun facts about Williams Stadium. It only seats 25,000 people. It is in Virginia.
Lynchburg, baby.
My guess is it only seats 25,000 people because, they're all busy praying
That's why
instead of
knees.
attending football games. So
that is a wild thing.
Isn't that
They have
so?
all those rules.
Yeah. They got some of their rules are like crazier than BYU's from what I understand.
Fun fact here for you. I took 4 classes at Liberty in high school.
I am so proud of you.
Minus 190 to win the conference champions, and they're plus 50,000 to win the CFB champions.
All right. Well, if they win the college football playoff, I will donate my left testicle to science. Okay.
We need this to happen.
Immediately, this needs to
Clip it
happen.
and send it to Gladwell. Okay, baby? Let's go.
Alrighty, we will finish out with Memphis. The Memphis Tigers, who play at a boring Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, host of the Liberty Bowl. They are starting this year upgrades. They've actually already started them. Phase 1 will complete before the season starts, and then Phase 2 will be done before the 2026 football season. So, Mom, there you go. You got fun facts about everyone's stadium. Memphis went 10-3 last year. They were sneaky 10-3. They're returning 11 starters, 7 on offense, 4 on defense. Their quarterback, who is a 4-year starter at the program, Seth Hannigan, is back. He threw for 3,900 yards, 32 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Is leading an offense that was 6th in points per game with almost 40, and tops in the AAC, and they were 14th total yards in the nation. They scored on 55 of 63 trips inside the red zone. Their top 2 wide receivers are also back, so I expect little to no drop-off of this high-powered offense. Their defense, however, was the exact opposite of the offense. It was 95th in points per game in the nation, 114th in total yards. Their secondary was just about last, with giving up 260 yards per game through the air. It allowed back-to-back 5 passing touchdown performances in back-to-back weeks. And 3 out of the last 6 games that happened. However, they get 2 safety transfers, one from an FCS school and one from Old Dominion, which is basically an FCS school. They allowed 80 20-plus yard pass plays and 38 plays of plus 30. Both were worst in the nation. Their schedule, however, is easy, easy, easy. You all ready for this?
Yeah.
North Alabama at home, Troy at home. Here's their hardest game. They go to Florida State. Okay? Once they get past Florida State, then they got to go to Navy, Middle Tennessee State, to FSU, North Texas, Charlotte, at UTSA, Rice, UAB, at Tulane. Their over-under's 9.5. I'm absolutely hammering the over of this.
Yeah, I can see that.
The American's wild this year, dude.
I wouldn't. The American's very wild, very competitive. I would not be shocked if their only loss is to Florida State. I really wouldn't, because UTSA also isn't known for playing any defense.
Yeah, well, okay, so they lost. UTSA lost all their stuff. Tulane also lost a bunch of people and their coach.
Right.
So it's.
I mean, Navy will always give you a fight, right? That little triple option that Robert's going to reinstall at GT. By the way, we are. Gentlemen, wake
I'm
up.
excited.
We're 2 weeks away.
I'm excited.
2 weeks.
Can I give you some random fun facts about Ryan Silverfield and his alma mater?
Who the heck is Ryan Silverfield?
Well, it's kind of.
Exactly.
Think about it, guys.
Is he Memphis's? The field is named after him?
No, he's the head coach.
Oh, okay. Great. I didn't know
He's been
that.
with the program
Mackay?
since 2016. Mackay, yeah, failure.
Shut
This-
up, Robert.
This is the interesting. He played for the Boyle School in Jacksonville, Florida for 4 years, winning
That's
state
not a real place.
winning its high school, winning a state champion in 95 and 98. Silverfield is therefore notably one of the only college FBS ranked coaches to have never played college football. He went to college at Hampton Sydney College. Thought that was in Australia. It was the last college founded before the Declaration of Independence. Today, Junior. Yeah, there we go. And it is the last and oldest 4-year all-male liberal arts college remaining in the U.S.
Okay, real quick. Was it actually founded before the Declaration of Independence?
It was founded in November 10th, 1775.
Well, that
And
doesn't count.
Hold on.
We weren't even a nation.
And it's the last male-only liberal arts college?
It's the oldest of the 4-year all-male. Okay, so I guess it's the one of the oldest, not the last. All-male liberal arts college remaining in the United States.
Wow. That's pretty
Sexist.
racist, but
So what you're
Just-
saying is, it's the Yingling Brewery of school.
Yeah, basically, there's a lot of
right.
there's a lot of like asterisks in there in order for them to claim what they claim. 100%. Yeah.
That's the funnest fact we learned today.
They also have a 4.5 out of 5 star review on Google.com. Their stadium.
Money, please.
Alrighty, well, I think that'll just about do it for today's episode. You got a little soccer, you got a little group of 5 independent stuff, and now you're getting the outro music. Wash those hands, you filthy animals. We will be back next week. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America.
USA, except for the soccer team. USA, USA, except for the soccer team.